Hello, dear friend. You are watching your weekly horoscope for June the 14th through the 20th. This week is very, very strange. We will have a square between Saturn and Uranus. This is a pretty rare and important aspect, which we will discuss. It happens at the beginning of the week. Then, towards the end of the week, on Sunday, we have Jupiter turning retrograde, which means that towards the end of the week, Jupiter is stationary. That's a very specific energy. There is also an ingression of the Sun at the end of the week. And in between, there are no exact aspects except for the ones of the Moon. Honestly, I can't remember such a week since I have started doing weekly horoscopes, and those are years already. So a very, very strange week of reassessment, I would say. On top of that, we have Mercury retrograde. We are getting closer towards the end of this cycle. This is the last full week of Mercury retro. The following week, Mercury will turn direct. So I think that it's time to slow down. It's time to reevaluate things and to dive deeper into what we really want in terms of our goals and our visions and all of that. Because Saturn and Uranus square, which happens on Monday, is an aspect that may bring like two polarities fighting with each other. The need to keep our certainty and stability, and on the other side, the desire for change and freedom. And this aspect can make us feel stuck. This can make us also feel kind of anxious or frustrated. And as I always repeat, in astrology, nothing is just good or bad. There is no black and white. And everything might turn into a positive if we use it in the right way. And out of this frustration, we may actually get motivation to make changes and do things. But specifically during this week, I think that the best we can do is to reassess things, to slow down, not to put too many things on our plate, not to try to make those actual changes happen right now. It's more about processing and preparation. And with Jupiter turning retrograde, of course, the most important is the actual shift, the stationary phase, which is generally this week, but even more towards the end of the week, and also the first few days of the following week. And Jupiter turning retrograde in Pisces may bring some reevaluations of some kind of spiritual goals, and also some kind of subconscious patterns and our deepest desires and beliefs. So lots of reevaluations and reassessments, and we may really look at things from a different perspective. I also want to remind you that this week, actually on Saturday, we are having a webinar about Lunar Returns. Very interesting topic. So if you want to join us, check the link. We have currently 50% off. And it also comes with a whole training on how to use the moon for planning and preparation and emotional work. So it's an incredible course for only $24 right now, which also comes with this webinar that you can join live or watch later as a recording. So very last few days for you to join us at this promotional price. Now, Monday. As we already said, Saturn and Uranus are squaring each other. So overall, this may bring frustration and things that are either slowed down or are somehow changing unexpectedly. So the day is not really beneficial for business, financial stuff, and communication. The good thing here is that the moon will be in Leo. So we may have some positivity in the midst of this otherwise challenging aspect. So find the positive, believe in yourself, work on your personal qualities and independence. That's what Monday can be great for, to connect with your inner resources and to, believe that you can actually get through things. Moon in Leo can really support a more creative personal expression. So overall, honestly, the day is not productive, but it's very important to learn to accept that there are challenges and that's part of life, and not to allow them to affect how you feel. So when things are difficult, or even when things are bad, it doesn't mean that you necessarily need to feel bad. So that's a great time to practice this attitude. On Tuesday, things are more positive. We have the moon in Leo. So again, optimism, creativity, but also there are supportive aspects with the sun and Mercury. This is a great combination for communication, intellectual work, some planning, some learning, some plans for traveling as well. So this is one of the more productive days during the week, which can be beneficial for business, for communication, and for creativity. On Wednesday, the moon will move to Virgo, so we will have a much more practical attitude. We can pay attention to details and be more precise, but also more critical. Overall, this is a very beneficial time for business and focusing on our obligations, being more present, more grounded. Again, paying attention to all the small things and details. The opposition with Jupiter is not necessarily a difficult aspect, but it can bring too many things that we want to accomplish, too many goals, or sometimes overestimating what we can actually achieve. So try not to put too many things on your plate and instead focus on the most important tasks right now. The moon trining Uranus can help you to have a different perspective about things, maybe make some changes, maybe even be a little bit more flexible, and it can really help with some kind of financial decisions or investments. Then on Thursday, the moon is in Virgo, so we still have this practicality and focus on details and work and being precise and organized. There is a square with the sun and Mercury, so in terms of communication, things may not be so smooth. We need to be more careful and consider things from different perspectives. There is an opposition between the moon and Neptune, which can also make us a little bit more distracted or unfocused, or we may forget about something, but this aspect can also allow us to be maybe inspired and even more intuitive. The moon has a nice aspect with Venus, which can help with relationships, with financial activities, and overall with finding some joy within the day. And there is a positive aspect with Pluto, which can help us to be more motivated, more focused, more dedicated. And this one is actually pretty beneficial for work and business. On Friday, the moon moves to Libra. We can focus more on our relationships, on our connections with other people. It's a great time to go on a date or to do something that you love or to take care of your appearance. And also for negotiations, this would be a great day. The moon will have a positive aspect with Mars, so we can feel inspired and motivated. For business, this can be pretty positive, and also for some kind of creative expression and doing something that we would enjoy. Libra and Leo are two signs that truly value joy. So do something that you would actually enjoy and will bring you fulfillment. On Saturday, we have the moon in Libra, And again, the focus is on harmony and balance and emotions and relationships. There is a square with Venus. So in relationships, we may need to put some effort to kind of like smooth things up or maybe solve some kind of issue. It's not an aspect that would bring like arguments or confrontations, but there might be some kind of misalignment or some kind of emotional frustration. The moon has a nice aspect with Saturn, so we can be very productive. We may focus on business and work. We can be pretty disciplined, and also in a group of people, we can be very productive as a community or as some kind of gathering of people that are focusing on one thing. We can be actually very productive. So for communication, for teamwork or community gatherings, the day can be pretty beneficial. And also there is a trine with Mercury, so learning, communicating, exploring, planning are also things that we can succeed in. And on Sunday, we have Jupiter turning retrograde, so we need to reevaluate our goals, our visions. Spiritually, this can be a very intense period. So again, reassessment, reevaluation. And also the sun is moving to Cancer. So for the next 1 month, we have a more emotional atmosphere which will help us to focus more on family or things that are important for our safety and our emotional comfort. So those topics will be quite important for the next 1 month. The moon will be in Scorpio, so generally this brings intensity. There might be some kind of tension in communication with people, or some kind of distancing, or sometimes drama or overreactions. So be careful how you communicate with others, because when the sun is in Cancer and the moon in Scorpio, there might be too much sensitivity. And with Jupiter stationary, people may take everything so personally, and we need to be more considerate about that. So that's the week ahead. As you can see, it's a pretty strange week with lots of reassessments, Mercury retrograde, Jupiter stationary, the square between Saturn and Uranus. It's time to reevaluate things, but also to slow down a little bit and search for the answers within ourselves. I'm reminding you again, if you want to join our webinar on Lunar Returns and how you can use them for planning and taking advantage of each day, you will also get the whole training on moon predictions, which includes working with new moons and full moons and each of the moon sign positions and what it brings and how you can use it to get the best results and really manifest your desires. So very interesting course, and right now it's only for $24 including the webinar. So it's an amazing offer. I hope you will join us. Thank you so much, and I will see you next week.